Dylan, Barry, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Your movie, Like Father, Like Son, will be debuting January 31st. Got to get the particulars out of the way. I did have a chance to watch it. Was very impressed. Very good job, guys.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
No, absolutely. So I just want to start out with the basics. Where did this movie come from?
Go for it, Barry.
Okay. Well, I fell down that rabbit hole of serial killer documentaries, and that sort of sparked. And it was really just a phase, you know. Once I got through what I felt was the majority, I was sort of done. I haven't watched one since. Um, but I fell down a rabbit hole that sort of sparked something. And I wanted to, the connection of father and son is a big thing in my life. I've got like the whole dad issues. And sometimes I see things in myself that I saw in him that I don't like, you know, that I have to work really hard to not be like that. And with that said, I went to Mayim Bialik, who's a neuroscientist, my
Hmm.
friend. And I asked her, could there be a hereditary connection? Like, why do I like tap my foot like my mom and, you know, all that kind of stuff? It's just little things that are just some connection that you don't know why. And she said, no, it could be hereditary. There could be an element. Because, you know, a lot of serial killers are abused, I thought, but not all abused people grow up to be serial killers. So with that said, I went researching to deep dive, and I found there was a father, serial killer, on death row with an infant at home. The father gets put to death, the infant grows up, and he's the serial killer. And so I just thought, that's it. That's all I need. I want to explore this.
Wow, and it is fascinating, and it is sort of in the zeitgeist. Like I think true crime podcasts are super huge right now, and I think we've all been there at a certain point. I read two books that sort of changed my life. Well, my perception of things. Whoever Fights Monsters, I forget the authors' names, and The Sociopath Next Door. So that was sort of my journey, sort of deep diving into the subject matter. But the movie is about a serial killer who's inspired by his father, essentially, who's on death row. Um, Father is played by Dermot Mulroney. Dylan, of course, you play the main character here. Maybe you could talk a bit about your experience with the role, how you got attached to the film.
Yeah, I got a call from Barry. This had to be about 2 years ago. And he was excited about this concept about a father and his serial killer son. So I was like, of course, I'll take a read and see what I think, kind of thing. Not really thinking too much about the storyline, but I fell in love with the story right away. Eli is a character I'm really connected to, and for me, it was just a no-brainer to kind of get involved with this kind of thing. And um, I've always kind of dreamed of playing a serial killer in a movie. I know that sounds a little weird coming out of my mouth, but yeah, no, it's just an exciting story, and I think people can get behind that kind of thing.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's stretching yourself as an actor. I assume.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't inspired by anything real on your part.
Oh no,
Sort of
no,
the
no.
point.
Thank God for that. But yeah, no, it's definitely it's a stretch for any actor to kind of play these dark roles and do that kind of thing. And um yeah, I had to do a lot to prep for this role, but I think it shows in the movie, and I think people can really enjoy it.
No, absolutely. And Barry, you already mentioned Mayim Bialik, and that's sort of I was watching the credits roll and I was like, Mayim Bialik, Blossom. What does she have to do with this?
Yeah,
But of
yeah,
course, she's very intelligent, talented woman. So you reached out to her. Dylan, what was it like working with her on set? Was there a little intimidation there or anything, or how did that go?
I think just to be fair to anybody with my experience level, I think you're a little intimidated by people with 20, 30 years experience when you come in. But Mayim's so awesome, and she was just so easy to work with that it really just kind of quelled that right away. And um, yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes, is the one with Mayim. I think it really sets up the movie, and it really kind of puts people into perspective of where he's at, in the current setting.
Excellent, excellent. And just to, I guess I just want to go down the list of this cast, but I was very impressed by it. But of course, the elephant in the room, Dylan Mulroney. And I was trying to research a little bit. Did he play your father in one of your first acting roles? Did I hear that correctly?
My legitimate first acting role I ever did. He was my father. Yeah, so it really comes full circle, and I think that's what's so cool is I get to act with him about 5, 6 years down the line, and um, yeah, I was a lot more experienced this time around. I was a lot less deer in the headlights, and um, it was just really fun to get to play with him again.
Excellent. Well, he does a great job. Barry, maybe you could jump in. What was your experience working with Dermot on this?
Well, going into it, a huge fan. So I was extremely happy when Luke Daniels, the producer, said it's going to be Dermot. Um, I found him to be so kind. He loved the script. He loved the role. He was really open to, really delving in and doing takes, and he nailed it. Just nailed it. Honestly, and Dylan too. And these actors were 2 to 3 takes. This was not one of those, 97 or 127 takes for Shelley Duvall, The Shining. This was um, and then so all the takes are really fresh. I found him to be always found him to be extremely talented, but versatile because what he does here versus the movies I've loved him in is very different. And it was creeping me the F out. So, and that's his job. So I was very happy. It is honestly Dylan and Dermot together is a director's dream. The chemistry, the ease in working with them, it really was. It was a gift.
Excellent. Well, and that was my just taking my critic's hat off as an audience member. It was fresh to see a new take from him. Associating with he's got this incredible backlog of films, but to see him do something different like this was refreshing. And it's always refreshing to see actors take on new challenges.
Oh,
So
yeah.
hats off there. And then Ariel Winter is in this as well. My family is a huge Modern Family fan. So, and again, speaking of people going outside of the box, oh, right?
Yeah.
But she took on a producing role in this as well. Maybe you guys can touch on that a little bit and just take turns, however you want to go.
Yeah, no, Ariel, one thing about her, she's really talented. She's been doing this for about 20, 30 years now, and I think people don't realize how much experience that she has. But she had so much success with Modern Family. I think sometimes it's tough for people to see her in a different role. And I think that's her biggest challenge in her career right now. And I think it's really cool that she gets to play a different role and she gets to showcase her talent and it gets to show everyone that she can do a little bit something different. Um, but yeah, she's a producer on this, which is, just kind of tells you how much commitment she had to the role and to everything else. And yeah, she was a real pleasure to work with.
Excellent. And Barry, how about your take with Ariel Winter?
Well, like you, huge Modern Family fan. Huge. And I just absolutely loved Alex. One of my favorite things when I'm creating a film is actors who aren't known for a certain thing, and you kind of take them out of that box and put them into a new box. And again, I'm not responsible for the casting. I was just responsible for the excitement over the casting. It was a thrill to know that she was taking the role of Haley. I immediately thought, yes, perfect. And I always know actors can do more than what you're used to seeing them in. They're actors. That's what they do. But I really loved the idea of really putting her in a role that we haven't seen her do, you know, and she knocked it out of the park. And she was great to work with. And as a producer, Dylan and Ariel and myself would, because when you're on your feet, things change in the script. Certain things come out of the mouth. We're like, let's fix that. Let's do that. So the three of us were able to brainstorm as the scenes went by, if they needed any little tweaks. And that was really great because like Dylan said, she's got so much experience and Dylan's great at that. So it was cool.
Excellent. Excellent. And of course, Vivica A. Fox is in the movie as well. Maybe you could both could talk about her a little bit and that experience.
I'm a huge fan. So like I grew up and I watched Vivica on a bunch of different shows and a bunch of different stuff that she's done. So for me, like that was a cool I had to like blink twice kind of thing when I was working with her a little bit. But she's awesome too. And I think that's what's so cool about this set was just everyone was egoless and um you don't really see that all the time on these movie sets. I think sometimes there's isolation between certain people and the crew and everything like that. But everyone was just so open, so easy to work with. Vivica was there for a day, but she was awesome, and it was just such a great experience to work with her.
And Barry, how about your take?
Loved it. As soon as I heard it was Vivica Fox, I went, you mean Independence Day? Huge fan. And what I was, I don't know why I was surprised by it. I shouldn't be. She was so joyous.
Mm.
Yeah.
She just arrived with this beautiful, big, loving energy. And it was infectious, and I just loved being in her air, her vibe, you know, and as the role, again, it's one of those things where it's not the usual, and I didn't want Eli's new boss to be the usual because he's had the asshole boss, and I wanted him to go to someone who is actually they're actually kind, so he gets that experience. And she blew me away. And she's such a pro. And the chemistry was great.
Excellent, excellent. Well, gentlemen, excuse me, gentlemen, unfortunately, we have to end it there. I could ask a bunch more questions, but Barry, Dylan, excellent work here. Thank you so much for your time. Super appreciate it.
No, thank you
Thank
for your time.
you.
Appreciate you.
Excellent. January 31st, check out Like Father, Like Son. Thank you, guys. Best luck with everything.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
This is Derek Scarzella. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching or enduring. If you're feeling generous or even just mildly entertained, please like, subscribe, and comment to support the channel. I know you've got opinions. Don't even try to deny it. Drop them in the comments. Argue with me. Argue with each other. You are officially invited to engage in glorious internet combat. You can also find me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Instagram's awkward little brother, and the granddaddy of them all, Facebook. Oh, and while I've still got your attention, my novels The Vicious Game and Knuckle Crack Bone are up on Amazon. They're unapologetically gritty, punch-you-in-the-face crime stories with rave reviews. If you give them a shot, I'd be honored. Thank you again for watching. Rest well, hero. You're home.